Welcome to the part 1 of Inner Wise Woman. This is first session. What we're going to do is actually create the landscape for our inner wise woman to come out, because we need to find her. We need to see where she's gotten to. So we're going to go into her environment and discover that. So what I want you to first start with, and you can either watch and then do it yourself, or you can follow along. Please use whatever colours you really feel drawn to. Remembering it's your piece of work and it's your landscape that you're creating. So you really just want to follow through with whatever comes to mind first. Don't stress about it not being right. There is a no right, no wrong way. It'll just come out, okay? And this is a fun part because we're just putting paint on, really. So the first thing I want you to look at doing is actually we're going to create some circles which relate to yourself, your world, your outer world, your inner world. So we're putting ourselves in the picture. So I've decided to go with red. So I might go, okay, here's me. That's my inner world. And there's my outer world. So as you can see, it's not really hard. Just sort of focus on that idea of this is my inner world, my outer world, and then putting yourself in there. Nice big brush, so you should have a big canvas, reasonably big canvas for you to work on. If you've got something a bit smaller, it might get a bit tight and awkward as we go. So that's the first one. Fairly simple, you would say. So washing out our brush, probably worthwhile to have a cloth with you so you can clean up as you go. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to bring in the elements as part of what we're creating. You can leave it to dry if you want, or you can just go with it. It might get a bit muddy, but remembering these are our bottom layers. These are all about intention and what we're bringing in. It doesn't have to look pretty. So if we think about bringing in the elements, so we want some fire, we want some water, some earth and some sky. So I've just picked out some colours. So remember that when you mix in your 3 primary colours, so if you're using an orange and then you bring in a green, you're going to get brown where they mix in between. So just be aware of that, don't be surprised. So I'm going to start with water. No, not water. I'm going to start with sky. Again, you don't need a heap of paint. So if you have a look, I've only just done a bit of a squirt. And what we're going to do is think about, okay, my sky's up here. I'm going to take my squirty bottle and I'm going to create that space up there. And you might find you get drips. Just work out how far does that air need to be. Is it a moving thing? You might want to give it more of a squirt, let it drip. And then I'm wanting to have maybe some earth. So for me, earth today is going to be a green. And see how you get these lovely drips that start to happen. So you can spray along and just add your colour. So just thinking that what we're doing is adding elements. And yes, I've gone over the red, so now it's going to sort of make it disappear a little bit. But most of these layers that we do now will probably disappear. You know, you might feel that you want to go up. That's okay too. It doesn't have to be in bands. Just go with whatever you feel called to do. At the same time, you can be turning your canvas if you wanted to have it go different ways. Sometimes it's easier to turn it around so that you can actually work on the top without bending right down. So I might do a bit more spraying. I think I want some water. Because I've picked fire as a big orange, I'm going to do all the blues first. So I've got some aqua turquoise colour here for my water. You know, and if you use a nice big brush, you'll find that it just gets there a little bit easier. And don't be afraid to coat your canvas, because this is where we're at. We're wanting to coat our canvas, give ourselves our first coat. Just makes the rest of the paint go on a little bit easier when we go to the next step. Let it drip. And, have I got any more? Okay. I tend to work with whatever paint I've got until I've run out of it, and that seems to work out okay. Okay, and let's place in some fire and see what happens. So, very bright orange. It might go very, very muddy, but that's okay. So I've got my reds dripping. Thinking about how fire just goes wild. I might go into there. Okay, and then I might just give it a bit more of a spray and see what happens with that as it goes. You know, you can just keep flipping it over with the water running while it's going, and then see what happens towards the end. So we've brought in our cells, our inner world, our outer world, and the elements. And then we'll keep going on to the next step.